What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Reylight Dawn flashlight. These flashlights are made out of China by an enthusiast named Reylight, and they're most well known for their affordable yet high performance specs. This particular sample that I have here in front of me is actually on loan from a friend of mine who lives in the area, so I definitely have to give my thanks for the opportunity to play with it. And with that being said, if you guys ever have anything you want to send in, be sure to send away, because I don't actually have a lot of flashlights on hand that I haven't already reviewed and that are good at that. So yeah. Moving on to my thoughts of the Dawn itself, I'm going to be taking a cue from some other reviewers, and I'm going to start organizing my reviews in an easier to understand way. I'll throw up an overlay with a breakdown of my new formatting, but hopefully this will make my reviews a bit more to the point in the future as well as succinct. Regarding the general specifications of this flashlight, it comes in at 3.2 inches in length and 0.9 inches in diameter. So with its titanium construction, you're going to be looking at 128 grams, so nice and hefty in the hand. And that's a bit surprising considering it's made out of titanium. You've also got Nichia 219C emitters, a sapphire lens here, and bistro firmware. So on paper, this is an excellent flashlight, and that sort of leads me into what I like about this flashlight. First things first, to elaborate on some of the specs for those who might not be in the know, Nichia 219C emitters basically are going to give you better color rendering. They're going to portray colors more accurately, which is a big plus for most flashlight geeks. Rey does give the option of XPL high emitters if more output is your thing, but I'd highly recommend sticking with the stock Nichia 219C emitters. There's good reason why this is the preferred emitter of choice amongst most enthusiasts. Now, the sapphire lens I mentioned earlier is also pretty uncommon on most flashlights, even custom flashlights, so it's a nice touch. Sapphire is much more scratch resistant than traditional mineral glass lens like this one here, but the truth is the majority of most users would be hard pressed to notice any of the benefits between the two of them. It's really just nice to know that you're getting a premium component for the price you're paying, so yeah. Regarding the firmware that the Dawn uses, Bistro, this was actually my first time playing with a light that uses this firmware. The firmware is designed by Toykeeper, someone who's made big leaps in terms of drivers for the flashlight world. I currently have the flashlight set to Muggle mode, aka low, medium, high with no memory, so there's your low, medium, and high. And that's really because that's all I need in practical use. There's a lot of other mode options though, and I know enthusiasts love their strobes, 7 output modes, and thermal control. And speaking candidly, I think that Bistro is a little too complex for most average users. And it's definitely not as versatile or as intuitive as the Dr. Jones H17F. This is a light that's using the Dr. Jones H17F, by the way. Let me just pop it open so you guys can get a look. Yeah, this is generally a considered the quintessential driver for custom flashlights, and it's kind of the benchmark by which others are held to. Nonetheless, this is a solid driver with a myriad of options available that will satisfy most enthusiasts. Something else that's unique about Rey's flashlights are the slots milled for tritium vials in the body. So you can see them around here, and you've also got 2 in the tail cap over here. This style has sort of fallen out of favor over the years, but there's many people out there who like the look. And aside from looking cool, it's great when you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got to quickly locate your flashlight. Let me see here. I believe there's 9 around the head, and then you've got 2 in the tail. So that's going to be 11 total. And of course there's going to be an upcharge, but it's also very reasonable from what I have seen. I know it's going to be hard to pick up on camera, especially because we're in broad daylight, but those are green tritium vials, and I believe these were alternating purple, yellow, and blue at the head. I must confess that I am not a fan of tritium in the body for reasons I'll elaborate upon later. However, I must give credit where it is due. These slots have been done very well on this flashlight, and they serve to protect the tritium from contact, unlike some other flashlights that leave the tritium completely exposed on the body, so yeah. Next thing that's sweet about the Dawn is that it comes with an 18650 extender tube. And that's so that you can swap in this right here where the head and body meet, and then you can use an 18650 battery. I currently have it in the 18350 form, and I'm not going to screw it on right now, but it's still a nice touch nonetheless, and it could prove useful if you want longer runtimes or a larger form factor if that's more your thing. Now, for all the things that I've outlined so far, the price on this guy is $129 for the base model. And this is an incredible price point considering some of the specs that I went over. You're getting comparable quality and performance relative to many more expensive flashlights on the market. And the titanium construction itself is a big selling point in my opinion. This flashlight is even cheaper than the mech torch that I reviewed a while back. Unfortunately, I don't have that light on hand for base-to-base comparison, but I do still think that the mech torch is the better flashlight in more ways than one. However, there's no denying that the price of the Dawn is one of its biggest assets. Right, so moving on to what I dislike about the Dawn. The first thing I'm going to point out is the clip here. This one is actually not the stock clip. The stock clip, which I have right here, is this one. And the stock clip is also titanium, but it's also well known for being quite brittle, and some users have also just snapped it clean in half. I'll throw up a picture on top so that you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. Definitely not something I would trust, especially if you're running this flashlight with the 18650 extender body, because that's going to exacerbate the weight of the flashlight. You can opt to purchase an aftermarket clip like what my friend has done here. This is a McBride clip. I had one of these on my Kluma actually that I sold a while back. Yeah, that was ages ago, but I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, sweet clip. The issue you run into though is that the where the clip rests runs along the side of the head, so when you unscrew the flashlight, it's going to be running up against the titanium and scratching it. That's also why I don't want to swap on the 18652 right now. So yeah, a sweet clip. And if you're going to buy this flashlight, just be aware of that issue and the issue that it presents if you buy an aftermarket clip. Next thing that I disliked about the Dawn was the overall shape of it. While dimension-wise, it's very compact for the 18350 battery it uses. Here's just a brief comparison. This is the overrated Boss 35. It's probably one of the smallest clicky-based 18350 flashlights on the market. And as you can see, the Dawn is not much fatter or longer at all. The issue though is that it's shaped like a roll of quarters, and this effectively limits its orientations in hand. You can't do a traditional cigar grip hold like this. Well, you can, but it's just not comfortable at all, and you can't actuate the button very well. And because of the weight, I also don't feel comfortable using it in a pencil grip like this, and it's just too fat for that. All the same. In fact, the only real grip that I found that works well is holding it like a roll of quarters with all 5 fingers. And so yeah, overall the Dawn sort of flops on the ergonomic side of things. As a basis for comparison, you can do your cigar grip hold with this flashlight, your 5-finger quarter hold, as well as your pencil grip hold. So yeah, this flashlight is ergonomically clean. It is one of the best flashlights on the market in terms of ergonomics, and that's sort of aided by these tapers you have here, as well as this triad tail cap and whatnot. So yeah, just ergonomically superior in every way relative to the Dawn flashlight. Something else that I dislike was the lack of crenellations at the head, or a means of telling if the flashlight is on when you have it face down. So as you can see, it is on right now, but there's no way you would have been able to tell. And that could be really helpful when you set the flashlight down and forget about it when you're working on something or something to that effect. You might think I'm nitpicking, but with the Dawn, I really do think it presents an issue because you've got tritium vials right at the head here. And without crenellations or anything to soak up impact, if you drop the flashlight on its head, the tritium is going to be taking most of the force. So yeah, just a little thing that I want to point out. What I will do is sometimes put tritium in the vials, tritium vials in the optic of the flashlight itself. And this way they're protected by the mineral glass lens, they rest against it, and they're also protected by the crenellations and they don't get exposed to the elements. So that's just a neat workaround in case you guys were interested. Anyways, that sort of leads me into the what I'm on the fence about, and that's mainly the tritium. The tritium is no doubt freaking cool aesthetically speaking, however, it's not without its drawbacks. In a flashlight like the Dawn, where they're almost completely exposed, albeit they've been slotted in like I pointed out earlier, you still run the risk of shattering the vials, and that's sort of where having them protected by all that other stuff comes in. And additionally, replacing tritium vials is generally a pain in the ass, so yeah, tritium might not be for you if you intend to use your flashlight in a hard use manner. I'm also a little bit on the fence about the switch here. On one hand, it allows for rock solid tail standing, and this is just a feature that I believe every flashlight should have. And it also allows for the clip to ride very, very high, so that the flashlight sits in your pocket very discreetly. Conversely though, the switch button is made out of titanium, which is quite uncommon. And it looks cool, but I can definitely see it presenting some issues which have been evidenced by previous Reylight flashlights. In that regard, if it does fail though, I do believe Ray will cover you, and he's very good about the customer service aspect of things, although he is based out of China, which might be a drawback for some purchasers of this flashlight. Now that I've covered what I want to talk about, I'm going to deliver my verdict. As usual, while I do have a whole lot of nitpicks, I am an enthusiast at heart, and I just want to point out everything as objectively as possible so that there's no surprises when you get your new flashlight. And with that being said, I do think that this is an excellent flashlight for the money. Clearly, if you want the best custom flashlight on the market, you should not buy the Dawn. But if you're on a budget and you want something maybe comparable in terms of quality and specs to some of the higher end flashlights on the market, this might be the flashlight to look at. That said, I still do think that the Mech Torch flashlight that I reviewed earlier is superior because of the H17F driver alone. And I mean, once you pimp out the Dawn with the tritium and all anyways, you're going to be looking at roughly the same cost all the same. However, the Dawn does have its merits, and you're getting the 18650 extender body, a sapphire lens, and cross-compatibility with other clips, which might be big pluses depending on your usage patterns. Particularly the 18650 extender, which is going to boost runtimes by a lot. As usual, guys, if you guys found this review informative, be sure to hit that like button and to subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching, and peace.